what's up? I wanted to give you guys a little behind the scenes. We're all kind of stuck in houses, hopefully not for too much longer. We don't know. So in 2013, October of that year, we released a song called Something New. Hopefully some of you guys remember that song. I thought I'd give you guys a little behind the scenes, behind the song, exactly how we wrote the song, what it means, and what happened because of that song. So I started writing that song, I believe, in 2012. Right at the end, we had just switched a ton of members in the band. At one point, The Lasting Hope had 6 members. Now we have 3, and they're different than the first 6. So it's been just a crazy time, but every single band member that The Lasting Hope has ever had has contributed in some way to making it what it's been throughout the years, and every single one of those guys I consider still to be brothers. Aaron was over here 2 days ago. Craig and I, during this quarantine, we're in an intense battle on 2K19 because we're poor and we don't have 2K20. We're playing that every night against each other. So everybody who's been in The Lasting Hope has just somehow contributed and taken us further each time. But Something New is something that we started in 2012. I think I just had a guitar riff. I had the lyric, "The grass ain't always greener when you're feeling blue all day." Around that time, I didn't really know what I was going to do with it. Kind of just put lyrics in the back of my head, and then we'll eventually use them down the road. May not even be thinking about that song. But in 2013, right as that year kicked off, we had started hanging out at the place in Scottsburg called The Rock. A local youth pastor kind of opened that place up to us and really gave us the ability to get together, hang out, and write somewhere. Me, Josiah, and Logan Trowbridge were there by ourselves at this time. I had an acoustic guitar, and we basically sat around at a circular table and we started throwing out ideas on what we wanted to do a song about. And at the time I was 19 and started throwing out different ideas for songs. I had mentioned that I had these lyrics before, and then we kind of just started talking. We were really, all 3 of us especially, were super and Craig, we're super into the pop punk scene. We grew up on Relient K, Hawk Nelson, all those bands, and that was a huge influence. And we were also into the whole sad boy punk, pop punk movement going on with like the Stories So Far and State Champs and all those guys. So we wanted to write a song like that, and I think everybody's natural inclination when they write a song like that is to write about their hometown. And as a 19-year-old, I think that's the age I was super angsty. You know, I just graduated a year before that. I moved up to Indianapolis. Everybody in that scene is writing a song about their hometown and how they despise it. And so that just seemed like a natural way to go. It says, "This town has seen its better days. I think it's time we finally parted ways." That's just about me moving up to Indianapolis, getting away from, at the time, Crothersville. The irony is that I moved up there. I lived there for 4 years while I got my degree up there, and now I'm actually a teacher at that same place because I loved it so much. Looking back, you know, I had some of the best years of my life there, and I think at 19 you're just kind of dumb and you just think things are way worse than what they are. But looking back, I had an awesome childhood, I had an awesome school, and I'm so thankful to be from Crothersville. So now I wanted to go back and contribute and be a part of what that school system did for me, and so now I'm a history teacher there, which is just an insane turn. But anyway, we were writing that song, and it's got the whole, "This town has seen its better days. I think it's time we finally parted ways." Gas up the car and hit the open road. All that's just angsty, move away from your hometown, start a band and tour. And thankfully we actually got to do that because of that song. We wrote that in 2013. In the summer of 2013, we got a woman named Nancy with EOS Artist Management at the time. They had one artist, but it was Jason Dunn, formerly of Hawk Nelson. And that was my biggest inspiration in music at that point. I saw Hawk Nelson when I was in the 8th grade. It changed my life. So she had already signed Jason Dunn, and I don't exactly remember how the first interaction took place, but when she heard that song, I sounded absolutely horrible on it, and everyone let me know. This was way before you got the recording and the music video. This was an original demo of it, very pop punk, had a chant in it. At one point, Crawley kind of screams in the end of it. So it was a way different song than what you heard on the Sunsets and Second Chances record. But she heard that, and she heard something that was somewhat, had promise. And we went down to Arkansas and we played a show down there. We sent her off the video. She liked it enough that she flew in from New York to come meet with us. We had like a live, almost like a talent show. We had like a live performance in front of her. At the end of it, we signed a contract with EOS Artist Management, and that was when everything kind of took off. I sent an email to a producer named Mark Lee Townsend, who had done, I knew Mark Lee Townsend from DC Talk. He was a guitarist from DC Talk, but Mark Lee Townsend had also produced like every Relient K record, bands like the OC Supertones, all those guys who have made such a big impact on the pop punk Christian side that I grew up on. And obviously Relient K became a whole nother thing. They took it to a different level. So we messaged him. We got in the studio in August with Mark, showed him the song Something New. Don't think he was impressed, but he liked us enough to continue working with us. He took that song from what sounded like a band playing in a garage to what it is today, and it became like this more of, instead of pop punk, which was kind of fading out at that time, sadly, we turned it into more of like a pop thing, had a lot of piano in it, had a lot of just a lot of more pop driven elements, and he gave us some song structure. I fully believe the only reason why I can still write songs today is because Mark kind of took us under his wing. He showed us how to actually write songs. It's made the biggest impact on me as a songwriter over the years is working with Mark. Still somebody I consider to be a great friend and a mentor, and I still talk to him regularly, and so I'm super thankful for that. He kind of showed us how to just make songs that were not just something you would hear on a demo, but actually real full songs. We recorded the song with Mark, changed it from this pop punk thing to a pop song, and then after that was over, we put out a music video for it, shot by Joel Jackson. You guys have known him over the years. We played with him as Lasting Hope. He's been in Second Perception, Echo Boy, and now he started One Life, so make sure to go check them out. Joel is not only is he an amazing musician and songwriter, he's phenomenal at video. He put out a movie a year ago, which has a Lasting Hope song on it, so you guys need to watch the movie as well. And so we put out this music video, had no idea what it was going to do, and it kind of exploded for us. At our point, we had played like, even from starting in 2010 to 2013, we had still only really played under 50 shows. So it exploded on the sense that it gave us the avenue to do more than we could ever imagine. We pushed the song to radio, which was a big financial burden at the time. We didn't have a label, we had a management company. Thankfully Nancy kind of helped us orchestrate how we were going to get it on the radio, and Mark as well. Both of them kind of contributed to help us make it what it was. But we had to put up a lot of money in the start of it to get it going, to push it out, since we had no label behind us pushing that. The song just kind of took off. It debuted at like number 21. The next week it went to 14, and the week after that, I believe, is when it went to number 5. And that was kind of where it peaked out. But if you look at the time when we did that, the top artist I think was Family Force 5, Skillet, Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, and Amberlin. We didn't have much of a chance to get past those guys, but it was cool to get up there with them, and that's something that I'll always have as just like the fondest memory, was that time, just being so excited that the radio charts were going to come out and not knowing what was going to happen. That song kind of gained its own life through radio, and that opened up so many opportunities for touring, for press, and we've done radio interviews from that song as far up until 2017. Because of that song, we got to do so many things that we never thought we'd be able to do, and we won a ton of Battle of the Band competitions, which is how we got to open up for Toby Mac in 2014. We did so many things through that song. The craziest moment I ever remember was we had a little bit of radio success with Something New, and so we decided we were going to do like a mini tour. And so we went down to Florida. Aaron's uncle at the time had ran a ministry down there for addiction recovery. And so we went down there, and then we did a few more stops where we went through like close to Miami, Tampa, a bunch of other places like that. At one point we went down closer to Miami, and somebody drove like 2 hours to see us because they had heard our song Something New on a local Miami radio station. That was the craziest thing in the world, because at the time we had heard that our song was on the radio, we'd seen it on the charts, but Indiana doesn't have like a Christian rock station, so we never really got to hear it. And so that was the first time I got to see someone who was like I heard your song on the radio, I gotta come. That's happened like maybe a handful of times, not very many, but that was the first time, and it was the best feeling ever. And I owe it to a song that I wrote in Scottsburg about a town that now I love. I think the reason why this song caught on so much is it's not so much about a town that you hate, it's kind of about something new. Show me something new, God. I'm tired of being stagnant. I'm tired of being stuck in the same place, and I'm ready to take a leap of faith. I think that's why the song kind of caught on so much, as people could relate to it. The music of the song was basically me and Craig sitting down, me, Craig, and Josiah sitting down and kind of just writing a pop punk song. Trowbridge added this piano part. That's what kind of the riff of it that people know. I doubled that on the guitar, and Aaron kind of laid down these drums. We tried to make it not such a pop punk song where it was super like double kick and all that stuff. We made it more of a pop song, and I think that was what made it so commercially successful. It made people nostalgic, thinking of like Relient K, and it definitely sounds like a Relient K song. I'm thankful for that. I love that band. And so I think it made people nostalgic for that type of music, which also played a huge part of it. I actually never intended to be the lead singer of The Lasting Hope. I had to step up kind of on a whim. I was a guitar player at the time, couldn't sing, still can barely sing. Luckily, nobody seemed to care over the years anymore. I stepped up and we started doing it, and then we recorded demos. The Something New song was not really supposed to be me as a lead singer. In fact, we tried other people out, and they had to go in and sing that song as like a test. And eventually we got signed to a management company before we had recorded the first version of it. Even when we went into the studio, when we finished recording, there were still talks about me. We were going to put out the song with me singing it, and then we were going to replace the singer, and I was actually 100% okay with that. I never wanted to be a lead singer. I never wanted to be the front man of the band. But God had other plans. We got the song back from Mark. Our manager heard it and was like, no, Nancy was like, no, you're gonna be the lead singer of this band. I ended up taking vocal lessons for 2 years, and it helped. I used to blow my voice out like every night. For the little shows as little as shows we were doing, I was still blowing my voice out every time. And we got up to where we did 121 shows in 2017, and I never struggled with a single voice issue through that entire run of shows. 121 shows, never had an issue with it. I'm thankful. Vocal lessons that I took, had an awesome teacher. The only thing I regret about that song is I sound a lot different on that vocal track than I do now. I was singing super nasally. Luckily Mark kind of got that out of the vocal and makes it not sound so terrible, but I was definitely singing a lot different than I do now. Then the other thing is we stopped playing that song like 2015. It was like our last time really playing that song live, maybe once or twice. I don't think Braxton, since he's been in the band, has ever played it with us. And the reason was we were trying to switch up our sound, and we didn't want that to be like what people first heard us. I really regret that, because that song meant so much to me at the time, and I shouldn't have cared so much about what it was going to do to our brand, especially when our brand was founded upon that song. Everybody makes mistakes, and if we play a show in the near future, you're going to hear that one. I'm looking forward to this year, this 2020 year. As soon as this quarantine thing clears up, maybe it'll go into 2021. But whenever things go back to normal, or whatever normal is going to be now, you're going to see some stuff from The Lasting Hope. There's already been talks about it with the guys. We've already got some songs in the works. We put out a song called Enemies in 2019. I still love that song. That's going to be one that we're definitely going to keep in the set list. Definitely didn't get enough traction, and I'm hoping that we're going to put it on an EP pretty soon, and that people will get to hear that song, because that song is another one that means a ton to me, and I definitely think with the right kind of push, it'll do well, and I think that you guys will really enjoy it if you get a chance to listen to it. Thank you. Some of you guys just found out about us recently. Some of you guys found out about us from Something New. So thank you for all the support you've given us over the years. We are going to get back out on the road eventually whenever things clear up.